Howdy, 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 my name's Anashi Sasuke. Welcome back to Prequel, or Making a Cat Cry the Adventure. First things first, I thought for a second that that's at July 17th of 2011 and was about to be like, cool, that was exactly 7 years ago. But it says June 17th, so it was exactly 7 years ago and also a month. Anyway, in the last episode, it looked like Katia? I'm just gonna keep saying Katia, Manigan. Almost drank alcohol disguised as water, but instead, a knight came in and just dropped corpses on the table. Was like, hey, I brought you these cretins. Goodbye. So, McFrugal wrote, Katia, get that milk, then finish your cake. Maybe ask if anyone isn't going to finish theirs. More cake. Best day ever. Yeah, it turns out most people lose their appetite after a pile of dead bodies is dumped in front of them. They gladly donate their delicious cakes to you. This is the best day. Nick Link wrote, Katia, politely inquire if you can loot the corpses. Dari Hill apologized for the abrupt disastrous ending to the dinner. The soldier usually doesn't show up until later in the evening, she says, but he apparently made better time than usual today. He does displays like this frequently, but his heart is in the right place. So very, very wrong, but in the right place. You say it's fine, you're no stranger to extremely awkward disasters, so what happens to the bodies? Dari Hill says she doesn't know. Barry Lauren generally comes in later and takes them away, probably the Barry. If you're asking about their belongings, well, I guess it just goes to whoever's willing to take it. Bandits usually don't have much value. You thank her for the help and tell her to pass your compliments along to the chef who prepared tonight's meal. You're gonna go loot the corpses now. Vera wrote, grieve over your own dead body in the pile. Oh. Oh, come on! He looks nothing like you! Racist. I didn't even see that there was a cat in that pile. I guess it's something that just showed up in the flash also. Boop. Boop. Okay. Sushi Jaguar wrote, Katia, drain their mana. Drain it like you're some kind of mana sucker. Skeletox wrote, get Yan axe. Vidividivici wrote, try to keep that axe. It'll help you defend yourself while you learn to control magicka. You have no idea how to siphon magicka out of dead bodies, or if that's even a thing you can do with your weird Atronach powers. Was that dog even there before? Okay, it was there. You do take the Kaji's sweet machete, though. That's an axe. This is way better than the one you made out of a piece of glass and a broomstick. Oh, almost forgot. You'll have to add a new broomstick to the list of things you owe Quill Weave. Her old one is buried under 100 feet of rubble. This is kind of a brutish weapon, you guess, but it's not like you're actually going to use it on a regular basis. It's for emergencies. And in a true emergency, you frankly don't care how much blood splatter there is, as long as it's enough to make the emergency go away. But yeah, you and Quill should probably leg it before an invasion of violent Countess storms back to this room. Generic User 2 wrote, finish cake. Notice Quill Weave has a bit of delicious cake on her face. Maybe if you just lick that off for her. You meet Quill Weave back at the entrance to the dining room. She seems a bit eager to leave, possibly due to the pile of dead bodies. You point out that she has some icing on her face. She thanks you for the heads up and licks it off. You sure are helpful. The cake looks like a pile of censored something instead of cake because the cake slices are more realistic than the drawings. Mystery Jack wrote, Katia, make a mental note to learn how to make cake because cake is awesome. Wait, cakes are a thing you can make? Anytime you want? Your mind is overwhelmed by all the new possibilities this opens up. Niall wrote, time to turn in for the night. Bid farewell to your guests and politely inquire to Bearlorn if you may visit him tomorrow to further gain some insight into how you should go about becoming a mage. Escort Quill Weave out of the building and return to her house. You tell Quill Weave you'd like to walk back home with her, but there's a couple of people you want to talk to real quick first. You'll try to make it fast if that's okay. She says that's fine, take your time. She doesn't want to get in the way of you making friends. She'll wait here with capital S until you're ready to go. You thank her and offer the strange, dangerous man a piece of cake. Vidividivici wrote, seek Orin, and ask if the machete is sturdy enough to withstand a fight because you don't really know much about weapons, do ya? We don't want it to break in half right in the middle of a fight. You don't see Bearlorn anywhere? He must have already turned in for the night. You do spot Orin, though. Orin, you know stuff about weapons, right? Among other things, he says. What do you need? You explain that you're going to be traveling to Kvatch tomorrow and you want to have something simple for self-defense. One of the bodies in the other room was holding this. Do you think it'd be okay? As she lems the cake. Orin examines your machete, which is actually an axe. He wouldn't take it into a straight-up fight, he says. But if you're jumped by a wild animal or something, it should be enough to make them run. You can do that scary Kaji eye thing too, right? Sort of, you say. You can pull it off once every day or so, but much more than that and your eye gushes blood and you can't see out of it for a month. which is weird since you swear your mother could eye a fear all day long like it was nobody's business. Well, he says, you're just headed to Kvatch, so I think you'll be fine with this. If the handle breaks or something, you should be able to bind it back together pretty easy with some nails and metal. Anyway, if you're looking to travel light, this is also a useful tool. You can use it to cut down trees, make firewood, things like that. Huh, thanks, you say. For the first time in your life, you suddenly understand where lumber comes from. Squiggles wrote, that soldier, however, that's important. Perhaps ask around about him. Because really, if we're going to Kvatch, is having him as a bodyguard a safe idea? I'm sure he could be perfectly fine, but he's also kinda enthusiastic about his job. You have one more stop to make before heading back to Quillweaves. Dire Hill said the soldier's heart was in the right place, which you guess is a good thing. And he's enthusiastic, which you guess is good too? If he's headed towards Kvatch, this could be a chance to get some additional protection on your way there. Might even be a chance to get a friend. He's on his way out, but luckily he hasn't left yet. Hey, you say to the soldier, I was kind of maybe meaning to ask if it... Do not fear, noble citizen. You are in safe hands now. How can the Imperial Legion serve you? Swoon? Nonsensical Variants wrote, swoon. Moldavane Eurovision 2011 wrote, I would totally swoon for irony's sake. Bahomer 2 wrote, yeah, I'm gonna have to swoon. Yeah, you're not really the swooning type. You will admit that being literally swept off your feet was kind of fun, though. Mystery Jack wrote, find out his name. This thing's important. Moldavane Eurovision 2011 wrote, find out this guy's name. Hi, you say. I couldn't help but notice your extremely interesting display in the Countess's dinner. My name's Katia Manigan. I'm new to Cyrodiil. I'm a wizard, or will be, once I can afford training. The soldier nods at your greeting. Well met, fair Khajiit maiden. I am a soldier of the Imperial Legion, proud and selfless upholders of justice and defenders of this great nation and all who live within its glorious borders. I trust your stay has been adequately safe, pleasant, and just. Tulash wrote, keep it professional. Tell him about the highwayman exploiting a gap in the patrol. Budgerigar Commissar wrote, Katia, if the Legionnaire is going to go after Grow Up, warn the Legionnaire that Grow Up definitely has a scroll of Detect Life and probably has a potion of invisibility. Sudden art shift. Not entirely, you say. Yesterday you were traveling to Kvatch for moderately urgent business when you were approached by a large orcish highwayman named Garug Grow-Up, who demanded all your belongings and threatened to kill you if you did not comply. You wanted to escape using an invisibility potion, but he had this magic detection thing packed it between his angular rock-hard abs. He said he knew the patrol schedule and he was timing his robbery so you wouldn't see them. He also has a four-leaf clover, so he presumably has found more four-leaf clovers and is now incredibly lucky. The soldier says this mockery of justice fuels his heart and rends his anger. The Legion will not tolerate an individual who endangers the lives of innocents for personal gain, let alone one who uses the Legion's very patrol schedule against them. First chance he gets, the soldier will send word to his commanding officer, requesting a temporary 6-hour adjustment in the patrol schedule in order to catch this vile bandit off guard. And, if possible, additional units will be sent to patrol the road until they have apprehended this green scourge of the Gold Road, which is a name he made up just now. Justice will be upheld. The beacon of light cannot be silenced. The soldier apologizes for his failure to protect you and says he hopes your future travels are much safer. Lexavian wrote, anyway, try to spit out that you would like to protect you on the way to Kvatch as fast as you can make, because boy, is this awkward! Make sure to designate a time and place to meet it that you can easily make. You explained that you never did make it all the way to Kvatch yesterday. You came back here after you were robbed and have been a bit scared to travel again given your bad experience last time. You were wanting to... What just happened? Sorry about that. You say you've eaten like 3 pieces of chocolate cake in the last 10 minutes. There's no law against throwing up on someone's plants, right? The soldier says it's usually not appreciated, but it's perfectly legal under Imperial law and therefore fine to do. He peed in that same flower pot on his way in. Anyway, you were planning to head towards Kvatch again tomorrow? You're pretty helpless and worthless though, so you're wondering if he could maybe be willing to be an escort. I mean, not in a sexual way. You just want someone to protect you while you walk to Kvatch, if that's the thing he's willing to do. The soldier considers her request. While he surely wishes to defend every citizen as bravely and excessively as possible, he takes his job as a patrolman very seriously and cannot deviate from his strict schedule simply to guide citizens to cities. That job is for other people, such as hired guides and bodyguards. However, the soldier says, if you want protection on your journey, you are welcome to join him on his normal route to Kvatch. The two of you will depart from the castle at 4:30 a.m. sharp tomorrow morning and follow the Gold Road to Kvatch at a brisk trot, stopping only to defend yourselves, defend an innocent citizen, or preemptively slaughter potentially dangerous forest animals. If you are willing to keep up, he will gladly travel with you and offer the unparalleled protection of the Imperial Legion. Inquire further. apparently. If it's gonna load, alright. If it's gonna load, computer, you aight? Okay. The codfish wrote, ask him how quickly he travels though. You want to know if you'll be able to keep up with his pace after all. Many horrible things could happen if you lagged behind. The codfish also wrote, yeah, should have mentioned you got a receipt from the orc. Show it to the guard if you still have it. Assume the master blaster position on the guard with no-name shoulders during the patrol. What? Open in a new window. What is that? What is that? What is, okay. Master Blaster. Oh, it's from Mad Max, apparently. Beyond the Thunderdome. I feel like this is going to be, like, hyper-violent. I probably shouldn't play this in the video, but I'm going to do that anyway. Let's find out what this is.
This is Udemy, the world's largest marketplace for online learning. On Udemy, I learned how to code my own games in Unity.
Four, three, two.
For God's sake, what now?
Who run Barter Town?
Damn it, I told you no more embargoes.
More Blaster. Who run Barter Town? Who run Barter Town?
You know who.
Say.
Master Blaster.
Say loud.
Master Blaster.
Master Blaster? What?
Master Blaster runs Barter Town.
Louder.
Master Blaster runs Barter Town.
Lift embargo.
Well, I don't really know what that was all about, but I guess I should probably see the other two Mad Max movies I haven't seen. Anyway, let's not do that. Just to be safe, you ask him exactly how fast a brisk trot is. You're not used to traveling long distances and want to make sure you can keep up with him. The soldier says Imperial Legion regulation defines a brisk trot as exactly 3.3 miles per hour. Taking into account an average amount of justice detours at this speed, you will arrive at Kvatch around midday. That sounds doable, you say? You also mentioned the bandit left you a receipt for the robbery, though it's at your friend's house right now. Would it help the justice proceedings or anything if you gave that to him? Evidence is always accepted, he says. For all he knows, it could end up being a vital clue in the apprehension of this green scourge. One last question, you say. Under Imperial law, is there anything preventing someone from jumping onto another person's shoulders and just kind of riding on top of them? The soldier tells you that it is usually not appreciated by the person being written, but it is technically acceptable under Imperial law, and therefore absolutely fine to do it whenever you want. Sold Requiem wrote, Don't commit to anything. Say you'll think about it. Thank him for the offer. You tell the soldier that you'll definitely consider joining him tomorrow. You want to check with your friend first? Last time you made simple decisions on your own without explaining every detail to her, you lost all your money, sprained your ankle, almost died in a collapsing ruin, and accidentally had drunken sex with a necromancer. Soldier says he understands. Regardless of whether or not you join him tomorrow, he wishes you safe travels and enjoyable citizenship in this proud nation. This is exciting! You're excited! Tomorrow you're totally going to go all the way to Kvatch and then get all the stuff cool you've wanted, and then you repay her for all the damage you did, and then get a job, train to be a wizard, and you feel like anything is possible. You feel like maybe there's a chance you won't fuck this up. Shadow of the Lotus wrote, Katia, consider filling your arms around the core area or whatever it is that you're standing in right now to check for invisible persons. You can't help but think that Garag Grow-Up might have been tracking Katia with that invisibility potion or something. And anyways, if anyone gives you a strange look, you can always play it off as suffering from the intense amounts of sugar you ingested. Just to be safe, you claw the air a bit to make sure there are no visible orcs nearby. You hadn't really considered the fact that Gurug might be invisibly watching you right now, and it makes you a little uneasy. You reassure yourself that he would have no reason to follow you since he already took all your stuff. That would be a waste of time and money, something a businessman like himself wouldn't do. You're safe. You hope. Maybe you'll ask Quillweave, maybe later you'll ask Quillweave if there's anything you can do to see invisible people. McFrugal wrote, holy crap, 4:30 is early. We'll miss the soup kitchen if we leave then. Up to you, Katia. The Codfish wrote, also, hey, forgot that the soup kitchen will open up at the time. This is problematic. If she doesn't eat, she might not be able to keep up with the guard. If she does, she won't have this protection. Solutions? Ration your cake, Katia! You're a grown woman. You can get away with skipping breakfast every once in a while. Seriously. It probably is time to end your cake binge, though. You find one of the servants and get him to wrap up the rest for you. Tenebrae wrote, inform Quillweave of your plans and ask what she thinks you should do. The whole reason you want to go to Kvatch is as a favor to her, so you should make sure she's still willing to entrust you with the task. Remember what happened last time you tried to surprise her. You find your way back to Quillweave until you tell her the soldier's offer. You've never traveled with a soldier before, but you think it'll be a lot safer than going on your own. You ask Quillweave if she thinks the same. She agrees that it is a good plan. She was hoping you'd find someone safe to travel with, and there's a few people safer than an Imperial Legionnaire. Anyway, he seems like a good guy. A little murderous, but a good guy overall. Merdini wrote, and then get some sleep as it's surely late already, and 4:30 is a pretty early time to be leaving the city. Is she doing the dark vision thing? All the way back to her place, you tell Quillweave all about how you were really nervous at the beginning of the dinner, but then by the end you pretty much overcome your countess phobia. You're proud of yourself. You never thought that was something you could accomplish, and if that's possible, who knows what else you have in you? You think this might be the best day you've had in, well, forever. Quillweave says she's glad you enjoyed yourself. You thank her again for inviting you. It meant a lot. Oh, and watch out for the bathtub that is inconveniently placed in your walkway. She says she thanks you for the warning. It's late, so she'll just dump that in the morning. Good night. Acerbic Avis wrote, she's letting you crash in her place again, right? About that. Back at dinner, you told the Countess that I run errands for you in exchange for a place to stay. I'm pretty sure that was just a cover story, so you didn't have to admit I was an alcoholic who repeatedly breaks into your house, but... is there any chance the whole giving me a place to stay could be a real thing? Quillweave tells her that the idea behind cover stories is they are not real things. Otherwise they wouldn't be cover stories, they'd just be the truth. Aren't you in the Mages Guild? Can't you just stay there? You explain that you visited the guild but weren't accepted in yet. Evidently, to even apply, you must display proficiency with at least 2 spells and be able to carry 150 pounds of books. It said the second one was very important for wizards, so yeah, you kind of need a place to crash tonight. You've seen my house, Quillweave says. There's just one bed and a whole lot of cold stone floors. As an alternative, build yourself a tree. And Dorksora wrote. Didgeridoo wrote, sleep atop a chimney as the rooster sleeps. Bellow thine cock calls into the night and attract a gaggle of matronly guinea fowl. Hey, you're not a bird? You understand the catchers, but where the hell did the bird thing come from? It's not even offensive. Guile wrote, is the bed big enough for Katia? The bed is big enough for Katia and an orc and a necromancer, and I think they could all fit. You told Quillweave that you assumed it was going to be like a sleepover or something. You figured you'd both just cram into one bed, or maybe you would make a pile of blankets to sleep on, but you gotta understand she's not okay with that. She says, yeah, that would probably be kind of awkward. She really doesn't have that many blankets and is used to sleeping in her underwear like a total hermit. She'd kind of rather you just find somewhere else. It's nothing personal. You know, you're fine with underwear, but it's okay, you understand. She's already done a lot for you, and you don't want to impose. You're thankful she invited you to dinner, and you really appreciate how she agreed not to drink anything while she was there. It might not have seemed like much, but that meant a lot to you. Most people wouldn't do something like that. You say, thanks. You'll just grab your hood and be on your way then. It's fine, they'll probably let you sleep on one of the pews at the back of the chapel. And Vader Gur wrote, guilt her about the spiked water and share the bed. Odomar wrote, with her luck there could be some kind of freak thunderstorm overnight. It is a big enough bed, Quillweave says. If you seriously want to do the sleepover thing, it probably wouldn't be too weird, right? You promise you won't make it weird, you say. You don't want to, like, be a burden or anything if she'd rather you stay somewhere else, though. She says that's alright. She thought about it, and you just be sleeping here for, like, half a night before leaving. It's no big deal. You thank her profusely and promise you'll be out of her hair as soon as possible. I mean, metaphorical hair? Fins? You'll gather up your stuff right now so you can leave right away tomorrow morning, and she'll have the place to herself again. You're kind of worried about staying at the chapel, you explained, since you've never been very good at sleeping on hard surfaces, and it would have been easy for someone to steal your amulet. If you lost that in the night, you might have accidentally burnt down the chapel or something. That would be awful. Yeah, Queerwee says she knew a mage once who accidentally started a fire at a bar. Someone tried to pour a bottle of water on it, but it turned out the bottle was actually full of clear rum. Can you believe that? They do look about the same, you reply. I think most people can smell the difference. You don't know, your nose is kind of bad, especially for Khajiit, but eventually you can see where someone won't make the mistake. Tenebrise wrote, Queerwee may be friendly, but I don't think she'd be willing to exchange writing notes just yet. By the way, would it be alright if you borrowed a pencil? You think you might want to take notes tomorrow in case you forget, in case you have to remember anything? You don't know a lot about note-taking, though. Maybe you guys could exchange writing tips before you go to sleep? You heard she had some. Fred M. Sloniker wrote, Quillweave suggests that you could offer tips after Katia's trip, as she'll probably want as much sleep as she can get. Hope she forgets about an apparently embarrassing topic before she gets back. I don't know what topic that's supposed to be. Quillweave says that borrowing a pencil is fine and hands you one from her pocket. It's late though, so it might be better to discuss writing tips when you get back from Kvatch. Which is probably right. You need to get to bed. You thank her for the pencil. Continue gathering your supplies for tomorrow. Pidmon wrote, invent water clock by hanging tub near the bedroom with a long candle burning candle plugging a hole near the base of it. Before going to sleep, make sure the candle is lit. When the candle melts down to a certain point, water will start running out of the tub and into a cloth that will slowly become saturated. This cloth will be hanging over Katia's face and drip some water onto her at some time early in the morning. Hopefully she chose a candle that will burn the right amount of time. You were positive that you could build an elaborate alarm clock using only the supplies in this room, but that would take a while, and you've already borrowed enough of Quillweave's stuff. So you'll opt for plan B. You call back into the other room and ask if she has any regular drinking water. She says it's on the shelf by the door. Make sure it's the bottle that says water. Vici wrote, this will sound stupid, but whatever. Try talking to your amulet. By the way, enchanted items have souls in them, right? Do you think it's possible to talk to them? Quillweave says it's definitely possible to talk to them, but it wouldn't do much since they have no ears to hear and no mouth to respond with. Also, the soul is usually that of an animal, meaning it couldn't carry on very good conversations even when it was alive. Oh, you say. Just wondering. Mocha Bean wrote, wait, do we still have that skeleton the necromancer left behind? Trained skeleton to be an alarm clock. Alas, the reanimated skeleton appears to have collapsed face first and died immediately after completing his task. Why are there that many skulls? He did a pretty good job, though. Looks like he changed the sheets, stacked up the skulls, bundled up the letter straps, and cleared the broken glass out of the window frame. Rest in peace, skeleton butler. Crazy 8 wrote, Katia, you're becoming way too excited for this late of night. I'm sure Quillweave would agree. It's late and time to get to bed. You want to wake up early after all. True, you've got to get up early. You've got to get up and travel in a couple hours. It's time to calm down, switch off the dark vision, and actually get to sleep. Oh, has the dark vision still been on all this time? Yeah. I like the little, fluffy cheek things that it starts to have at this point. You thank Quillweave again for letting you stay here? You guys is kind of funny since this is the same place you stayed the last few nights, but seriously, you really appreciate it. She says it's fine. Oh yeah, I asked her about what, that one time in, what was it again, Coral? You missed that story. Yeah, what's a sleepover without some gossip? At least you think that's what people do at sleepovers. Oh, back at dinner you mentioned something about a friend in Coral? I was listening to something else and missed that story. I'm super curious though, what happened? Quillweave says it was nothing, she'd rather not talk about it. Fishbat wrote, Pat, you just have to pester her for details later. After all, she knows a lot about your sex life. You pester her a little more about it. Come on, you say, you know all about my sex life. Quillweave reminds you that she never asked to know about your sex life, you just kept fucking in her bed. You say you're really sorry about that. It was an accident, but I am really curious about what other people's sex lives are like. That sounds messed up. And it kind of sounds like you had something going on in Coral. She says it was nothing. She has a writer friend in Coral. There was no sex involved. End of story. It was just a kiss. You barely contain a squid. That's adorable and romantic. I never paid you as a sappy, smoochy, romantic Quill. Oh gosh, did you travel all the way up there just to see him? To see her? Yeah. Oh. Oh. So this whole thing right now, with us betting to get down together while wearing almost nothing, this is probably really awkward and uncomfortable for you. Yeah, she says, kind of. So when you gave me that pineapple the other day, was it because you knew I was going to... Quillweave interrupts you, says that absolutely any time but now would be a more comfortable time to talk about this. Right? Sorry, sleeping. The final Wraith wrote, I suppose we could just wait for you to have that nightmare and hope it wakes you up at the right time, but that doesn't seem ideal. You may be biased on this matter, but quite frankly, you'd rather not have the horrific, life-ruining nightmare wake you up in the morning. This is your first time sleeping sober since you arrived, and that's scary to you. you're pretty sure you'll dream about whatever you're thinking most when you fall asleep. That's how you got through the ship ride anyway. You don't like the way your old nightmare is lingering in your head. You need to concentrate on something else. And that concentration is nobles, nobles, nobles. So, let's see. It looks like I could probably just go through this page. No, I cannot go through that page because it's going to start the dream sequence. So I'm going to stop here, and the next episode we'll have the dream sequence. If it looks like it's going to be a dream sequence, and we'll do that in the next one. So, this has been Anashi Sasuke. This has been Let's Read Prequel or Making a Cat Cry the Adventure. In the next episode, nobles, 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 nobles. If you liked it, a like and a subscribe will be groovy. If you didn't, you don't need to do either one of those things. And I will see y'all in the next one. Later.